We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin. And today, faithful acolytes, we take a look at this. And what this is, another FYE exclusive. It is the Godzilla Force of Nature Ghost Pepper Hot Sauce. There's our boy, our big strapping lad right there, along with some just Godzilla, possibly. I'm not quite sure what the kanji text there. We have powerful and sublime. So Godzilla, you could call a lot of things sublime. I don't know if that makes any sense. Certainly that doesn't describe the sauce particularly well. I can see it is licensed by Toho, of course, as is usual. This is produced by Blazing Foods, who we know from things like Reaper nuts and so on. All right. Let's take a look here at what we have. We have aged red peppers, which are certainly cayenne, vinegar, salt, garlic. So we have basically a Cajun sauce to start with. Then we have the addition of chipotle, ghost peppers, hickory smoked sea salt, ground cumin, xanthan gum, and paprika. As you can see, there's lots and lots of little bits and particulates there in the glass. This is, I believe, an 8 ounce bottle. I got this at the same time as I got the Ritsuko Rage. And as far as the novelty sauce, like I said in the written review available down in the description below, this is much more of what I had anticipated for a novelty sauce. You know, and a lot of times when people say novelty sauce or novelty product, they mean throwaway. Or something that is just aimed at, in this case, you know, it's probably aimed maybe at Godzilla collectors. Same thing kind of with the Ritsuko Rage hot sauce, I think. I mean, FYE, I don't know that they have any hot sauces on their website right now at the time of filming this, which is right around mid-March. So right around the Ides of March. So I don't know if they have any of the hot sauces even listed on their website anymore. So it's not like they're necessarily trying to be a food purveyor. It's definitely branded stuff. But all right, let's take a look here at this, and it's about what you would expect. Sort of a reddish brown sauce here with those ingredients. They're all within that color tone. As far as visually, it looks fine. It looks actually a lot like there's chili powder in here, though. It almost looks like a taco sauce. Just its appearance here. You can catch those little bits there at the edge where it lightens out a little bit. So, okay, let's get on into this. Very strong vinegar charge right out of the gate. Definitely, we're getting a lot of the impact of that Cajun. Started out with the Cajun sauce. Back in, we're definitely getting some of the notes of the garlic and the cumin, and a little bit of the smokiness of the chipotle, which is probably what these little dots are, because I'm sure they use the powdered chipotle. And a little bit of smoke from the sea salt and the ghosties. Not particularly hot. Ghost peppers, honestly, I think it's kind of an afterthought here. It doesn't really add, I don't think, anything as far as the heat or the spice level particularly. Very, very moderate. This is, I mean, if any of those Godzilla fans are going to jump in and try this instead of just putting the bottle on their shelf, they're not going to be too punished here. Force of Nature is powerful. I mean, you know, you got him here getting the fire blast, right? You're expecting somewhat of a bigger push here, I think, with this. There's something here on the wall sauce. What is that? Oh, okay, bits of garlic. Okay. And you know, and that's the thing too, is I don't think they knew what they wanted to do with the sauce. You know, it's like it's covering too many things at once, and very contradictory things as well. So if you're like me, Mexican style sauces, you really want some of that, I guess, kind of warm, rich tones to it. You don't necessarily want to have a vinegar punch to cut through the richness of foods necessarily, because you almost always get a clash, right? Put it on refries, it's awful. Some of the meats, you know, like maybe carnitas, you might get away with it a little bit more, but it still isn't what that is wanting. You know, the CR bowls used a lot. Those are very warm, sort of embracing flavor as far as the pepper goes. The chipotle works well for that. Ghost, I think you could make that work. But the cayenne and the Cajun style really kind of throws it away from that. But then you also have cumin, and if you have cumin in something, as far as I'm concerned, you're pretty much taking a hard direction towards a Mexican style sauce. And putting that in there, I think, kind of, and you really tilts this more towards that style, I think, overall. I just, I spent a lot of time in the written review being baffled by what they were trying to do here. And just, I think there's some inherent conflicts with, I think you should have went for making a Japanese style sauce. I mean, this is a very huge cultural icon in Japan, right? It's Godzilla or Gojira, you know, whichever you prefer, you know, the Gojira or Godzilla, whichever one. It is a icon, huge thing in Japan, and we're ignoring the Japanese cuisine nearly completely with this, because Cajun, nothing to do with it. Mexican style foods, nothing to do. Chipotle, nothing to do with it. Right? You can go through this list of ingredients, and you could say garlic, vinegar, maybe to an extent. Chipotle pepper, no. The cayenne, no. The ghost, sea salt, certainly, but smoked sea salt? Yeah, I don't know about that either. Cumin, definitely not. Xanthan gum and paprika are, you know, those aren't really contributing too much to any sort of taste of this anyway. So, all right. So anyway, so having decided that it is mainly a Mexican style sauce, just because of that cumin in there, and I find that spice, I don't think really works outside of that world, honestly, particularly well. But trying this in places where I would normally use a Cajun or Louisiana style sauce, this is a very wanting sauce. So chipotle and the cumin, and we're just going to say it is meant to be a Mexican style sauce. All right, so we've got this real good. So real good Grande cheese enchiladas, and the idea here is that it's gluten-free and grain-free. So these aren't, the tortillas themselves are not actually made. They're not tortillas. They're not flour tortillas. They are actually chicken and cheese. So they are chicken and cheese shells with cheese and Monterey Jack, cheddar, Monterey Jack in the red sauce. So this is what it looks like. See, look at that. This is not a very appealing looking anything, but I've never had these before. No idea if it's any good. I'm just going to try it here just to try to get a baseline. I didn't notice that they were not flour when I got these. And it was like they were closing them out because I think the Real Good had changed the box or something. Well, it's not good. It is certainly one of the stranger things I've had. All right, so we're gonna pour a stripe on here. Let's see if this is any good here. This is okay on tacos. I feel like you need to have a meat there because you've got such a very vinegar forward sauce. I feel like you really have to have some fat in there somewhere. So trying these, for instance, on bean burritos was not enjoyable. Trying them with tacos came out much better. You have to be really, really careful because the astringency can overpower stuff there too. Not sure this is improving anything, but definitely not making it worse. You know, you think cheese. Well, there's a lot of richness there, right? A lot of richness to be had. And it's just, this is a dysfunctional sauce. I'll put it that way. And I'm not sure, like Ritsuko is good enough. The Ritsuko Rage, and I don't think the same company produced it, but Ritsuko Rage is good enough. I mean, it's a sauce of the year contender. So if you do wind up eating that one, great. I don't know if this one is necessarily intended to be eaten, oddly enough. I don't know if they were trying to make a good sauce in either case. But I think probably the odds would be a lot more that somebody would try Ritsuko because I don't know if that character is quite as collectible as Godzilla is. I mean, there's a lot of Godzilla collectors. I mean, there's things like Godzilla pizza cutters and that are not very good. All kinds of stuff. I mean, he's certainly as big of a cultural icon as I think anything else. So this might be a case where somebody buys it, puts it on the shelf, and wires a label. You think there's going to be some heat there, at least respectable heat, because it's got the ghosties in it, right? I mean, it looks pretty. It's a sauce looks fine. Visually, there's no problem. So maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's not meant to be eaten necessarily. Oh yeah. Well, that was. I don't know how much that improved those things. Those things were pretty bad. The actual red sauce was not great. Tortillas and tortillas made out of chicken and cheese. I don't know if that's how functional that is. That was I got it for $2. Like I said, it was on special. But I don't envision a future where even for $2 I would ever get that again. That was real good. Grande cheese enchiladas were real bad. This, like I said, I mean, it probably helped him a little bit. It definitely didn't hurt him, but this is just it's definitely a sauce without an identity. It doesn't quite know what it wants to be, other than something branded as Godzilla. And I don't think it really moves past that. And you know, this one, it's kind of the big question is, am I going to finish it? Because I don't think it's a particularly good sauce. Not to say it's a bad one, I just don't think it's that good a one. And You know, even when I was using it, I mean, and you know, I used over half of it here, playing around with it and stuff. Even during that time, yeah, and I'm a Godzilla fan. I'm predisposed to be interested in it, but even during that time, most of the time when I had it, I just almost always wanted something else. So I don't know. Maybe I'll try it in some more places. I might use a Cajun style sauce where hopefully I can mask the cumin. Had they not put the cumin in there, then I think fine. I think you are good to go then. Because then you basically just sort of have a smoky Cajun sauce. And so you have the texture and consistency of a Cajun sauce, but you've got cumin in there that is trying to pair up with the garlic and the chipotle and just drag it away. And had they just eliminated the cumin completely, then I think the sauce works a lot better. I think it's just too many. It's trying to have too much coverage at once, and it's pretty rare that you can find a Mexican style sauce that fits in the Mexican style world that also translates into other avenues. Just because those flavors are just very distinctive, and cumin is certainly among them. So I think that was a pretty big misstep here if they were trying to make a good sauce. But as it is, as far as a novelty sauce, I've had better, I've had worse. It's just kind of there, I guess, you know, for the most part. Maybe that's the best way of looking at it. For a big bad bull Godzilla, his branded sauce here is just kind of there. There is, however, an entire company that is devoted to making Godzilla hot sauces, apparently. So I might be trying some other ones that are not meant to be FYE exclusives and see if anything is a little bit better there in that world, just because I think that idea is pretty fun. But, I mean, we'll see how that goes. Stay tuned, I guess, to the blog and to the channel here to see how far I get along on that and if any of those are any good. But for now, that's going to do it for this one. The Godzilla Force of Nature and FYE exclusive hot sauce. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.